Hey you guys, today we're going to talk about box jumps and whether you should be rebounding at the bottom of your box jump versus stepping down, stopping, and then jumping again. I'm going to tell you that they're both great strategies, but I prefer to rebound, and as long as you do it in a way that's safe and healthy for your Achilles tendon, you can do it fast and in a healthy way. A number of high-profile Achilles tendon ruptures where the tendon completely breaks, usually upon landing and then rebounding up onto the box. And there's been a lot of speculation about whether this is a movement that we should all be doing. CrossFit itself has moved away from the idea of rebounding on box jumps, preferring to step down or in some cases just to eliminate the box jump altogether and make it into a box jump over instead of a box jump up followed by a jump backwards to rebound. It's very important to remember that the Achilles tendon is very unique in humans. It's highly adaptable. It's able to absorb stress under very high tensile loads, and whether we're running or jumping, it can get very thick, and it can do so in a healthy way that allows us to do amazing things. So it's not so much that the Achilles tendon isn't made to rebound and store energy, but we have to keep a few really important things in mind when it comes to how we're doing our box jumps, how we're rebounding, so that we can engage our entire posterior chain and do it in as healthy a way possible that minimizes risk to the Achilles tendon as it's getting stronger. Hey guys, now let me start by saying I'm a PT. I see Achilles tendon injuries all the time, and I still rebound my box jumps because I like the way it feels, I like the way it translates to my cycling, I like the way it translates to my running, but there's a healthy and an unhealthy way to do this, and I invited James today because he's still a young man. He's going to show us the less healthy way to do box jumps, which is essentially like doing a massive double under where you land on your toes, your heels never touch the ground, and you immediately release that energy back up into the air. So James, go ahead and do a few box jumps for us in the way where we talked about, where you're kind of staying upright. You're never really setting your posterior chain. You're never fully reloading into your posterior chain and connecting your back, glute, hamstring, and calf into a more powerful unit. When you stay upright like this, you're relying on just your calves to get you propulsion back up onto the box. This is also a reason why a lot of runners who aren't using their posterior chain end up with calf strains, Achilles tendon problems, because they're not using their hamstring and glute. How's that feel?
A lot of tension on the Achilles.
A lot, like you can feel it. You can feel that tensile strength coming up through the tendon.
It's not fun.
It's not good, but it's fast, right? And so a lot of people are doing it this way because it's bam, bam, bam. You can get it over with really fast.
Yeah. At this height, it doesn't feel terrible.
Yeah.
At
So I'm
24, it feels awful.
I'm gonna make it higher. I'm gonna show you how this slows it down. But what I want you to do, James, is when you come back down, take that extra second to land, go back into your posterior chain, fully engage your hamstrings and glutes, and then go again. He's actually gonna let his heels come down each time he lands. He's gonna go essentially back into his squat, so he fully loads his hamstring and his glutes. He's gonna stay in his heels, and then if he does it right, he's gonna have enough power to get up onto the box again. Whew. How's that feel?
It's fun.
The other really important form cue, movement cue, to keep your Achilles tendon safe when you're rebounding is the position of your midfoot. And we've talked in the past about pronation, having your feet toed out and your feet pronating in, and how hard that is on the ankle, the plantar fascia, and the Achilles tendon. Same rule applies here. If you're coming down off the box and you land at the bottom of the squat and your feet pronate and your knees come in, you're gonna be taking off from an unstable foot. Just like with your squat, as you go butt back, drive your knees out, you're gonna be maintaining a nice neutral midfoot, stable midfoot, so you have a very solid launch pad. The tendon, the Achilles tendon, therefore, is gonna be vertical, and it's gonna be in a healthy, strong position to accept that tensile load, absorb that shock, and release that energy back up onto the box. So do a few more for us, James.
Box jumps or
Do a few just like healthy box jumps facing the box. I want you to go back, let your heels come down, engage your posterior chain, do that little pause, take off again. Make sure you're driving your knees out when you land, and then focus on driving them out as you take off, as well as when you land on the top of the box. But when he lands, you'll see that he is landing with his knees driven out, feet in neutral, he's patterning that same foot position at the bottom of his squat as he takes that extra second to let his heels come down, reload his posterior chain, and take off. So don't be afraid to rebound your box jumps. Just make sure you take that extra second, let your heels come down, reload your posterior chain before you take off again. It might slow you down a tiny bit in the moment, but it's actually going to make you a stronger athlete. You'll gain fitness, and you'll actually have more energy left for the other movements in the workout. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow.